So putting your website into maintenance mode could be causing some serious damage to your website. Permanent damage, irreversible damage. I just received a notification on one of my websites. I have directory style websites where I have listicles where I mention wedding venues. I have websites that mention plumbers, electricians. And I woke up this morning to a notification that one of my website pages was linking out to essentially a 404, a dead page, a website that is no longer there or missing or something's happening. And I quickly take a look and I can see that there is a maintenance mode, which is website is under construction, which is great. You are rebuilding your website, you've placed it in maintenance mode. However, I picked up the phone call, I knew who to call, and I said, hey, what's happening? And he basically said, yep, we're redeploying the website. Now that is absolutely fine if you are starting up a business. If nobody knows who you are, nobody's linking to you, nobody's mentioning you online, you're just starting out, it's fine to have a maintenance mode. Now, what the maintenance mode, in other words, means is when a robot or someone visits the page, they hit a 404 error, which is essentially saying this page is no longer there. We're not sure what's going to happen. Now, that's not good because it's not good for other websites to mention and link out to a page like that. So a website naturally picks up backlinks on its own really slowly. But as part of any SEO campaign, a lot of money goes into the construction of backlinks. So these are mentions from other websites. It's the way that you build trust with Google. A link is like a vote of confidence between sites that Google recognizes and trusts. And acquiring those links sometimes is very expensive and very hard, and some links are just, you can't get them back. So in other words, imagine you are constructing a house and you've ripped up a whole bunch of plumbing, and all of a sudden the city council's, whoa, we can see our water flowing out into the street. What's going to happen? They're going to shut down the flow of water to your house. They're going to close it off. Now, in this case, I am linking out to them. I can fix that very quickly, but in many cases, you may not be able to regain that backlink because the person that placed it, the team may no longer be there. So what do you do if you're rebuilding a website? You need to have some kind of a maintenance mode. So look, everybody's different. I personally will create a demo environment. I've actually found it to be a lot easier to just pick up a new domain. It's $10 for a new domain. Set up fresh hosting and literally build the site out on a demo environment. Now, some people are like, wow, that's like, why would you spend the money on a new domain? I actually found that those workflows are much simpler and easier, and then just do an all-in-one migration than dev dot or construct demo dot staging site, staging environment, which is what commonly is used. Now, if all of this is news to you and you're like, I don't even know how to do that, I empathize with you. It is quite technical. However, the damages and the complexity and the costs involved in using a staging environment far outweigh the losses that will happen is if you start rebuilding your website live and throw it into maintenance mode. And essentially, if you have thousands of backlinks, thousands of other websites online mentioning you, they're going to be hitting a dead 404 page, and any active SEO, any active website administrator should be notified that, hey, their website is linking out to a dead page. That's not good, okay? Because Google doesn't want to send traffic to dead pages, and Google will not like sites that are sending traffic to dead pages. So having a link on my site that's going to your dead site or your dead page is going to negatively affect me. So I'm going to remove that link as quickly as possible, or fix it, or send it to a most relevant page. That's why there's still a tactic called broken link building. That's where You reach out to somebody and say, hey, I've noticed you've got this link that you've got on this blog. It's linking out to this podiatry topic. That podiatry topic page is no longer there. They've moved on, they've shut down their site, or they've changed the URL, they've removed that blog. But hey, I've got this good blog on a similar topic, why don't you link out to me? So you're helping the person, making the suggestion. Now, the topic's not about that. Maintenance mode, be very careful with it. If you're not sure how to place your site into a staging environment or a demo environment, I would contact some kind of a web dev, especially if your website is already getting traffic, getting organic leads and inquiries and phone calls. It is showing up somewhere on Google. I'm sure you've got access to Google Analytics, to Google Search Console. If you're getting more than a few clicks a day, that already is quite a costly loss if you were to lose those visitors. Now, in this case, when the site is being constructed, I said, hey, you've got 70 pages indexed on Google. Make sure that you are taking these into consideration. And guess what? They were not. So they had a page on their website which was / wedding photography Melbourne, hypothetically, or the wedding of John and Jill, right? Not to say that's a super important page, but that is a page that Google is familiar with. That is a page that potentially is getting mentioned somewhere, right? And so when you're rebuilding a website, you have to either rebuild that page permalink exactly how it was, or if you're updating the permalinks and you want to have something a bit more fresh, you need to tell Google where that page is now. What is the equivalent of that page? It's like reconnecting the plumbing from the local council. The plumbing was hitting this area of the house and then it was dispersing through the pipes. It's like we now need to set up those redirections. It's super vital because you're essentially losing backlinks, and that does damage to SEO because when Google compares your website, which had 1,000 backlinks, now it's going to have 500 backlinks hypothetically. Now a competitor that is 600 backlinks might get a ranking increase. You might shift in placements, not to mention the damage that the longer your website sits in a maintenance mode, the more Google is seeing a 404 page, the more your SEO maturity and is basically dropped, because your site goes from 70 pages indexed to one page, and then everything on Google is hitting a dead 404 page. Not good. If you're just starting out a new site, ignore. This only applies if you've already got a mature website, mature asset with tens of pages that are already showing on Google, they're getting traffic. That's where you have to proceed with caution. Hope it helps.